welcome to the CrackOn podcast, hosted by me, John Saunders. CrackOn! Hey guys, hope you're well. So welcome to Series 2, Episode 9, Shaun Welsh from the Trojan Group, director of the Trojan Group, and a really good friend of mine. I've got to be honest, one of the most genuine guys I've ever met, and as you'll get from the podcast, such a laid back and he's got a great attitude within business. Sort of guy I'd love to deal with if I was in his industry. I'd love to deal with him. Someone I look up to and respect wholeheartedly. The internet drops in and out quite a bit through this, so apologies for that. But the content in between is awesome. So take a listen, sit back, and give me some feedback at the end. Crack on. Hey, Shaun, how you doing, mate? You good?
Yes, wonderful. Thank you. Not too bad. Nice and
good.
Busy, and everyone at home seems happy, so I must be doing something right.
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it. And yeah, just generally keeping yourself busy. You're flat out, it looks like, at the moment, mate.
Yeah, work's very, very busy. I think since COVID's hit, the big markets, there's the drive-through markets where no one else could sell, those guys could, and obviously that's the market we targeted when we set up the business 9 years ago. Yeah. So I'm rushed off my feet, which is great, because we're going from being quiet some years to fighting for work, all of a sudden to screaming, how am I going to do it all, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But we'll get grumble about that.
Well, no, mate. We'll get to all that in a sec, actually. But I kick off the podcast all the time with 2 questions, and the second series starts with a couple of questions. So I know you're a CrackOn sort of guy. So what does CrackOn mean to you?
I think for me, it's, life's full of ups and downs, and it's a case of you enjoy the ups and don't be afraid of the downs. Just, whatever comes your way, push through it. It'll work out in the end. However it works out, it will work out. And if you put I think just having that attitude when things are crap and remembering there is a sun behind the clouds, it does help. And it's always just having that positive mind spirit, really. And I think that's, for me, what this CrackOn attitude is all about, really.
Yeah, cracking, mate. And then I put on the second question about someone like a mentor, an idol you look up to, or is there anyone in your life that you've always sort of seen as an inspiration and that sort of person?
No. Kate jokes to me and says I'm in love with Ben Fogle. I do like him. He's an explorer. He's chatted, across the channel, and he just seems like a nice fella. But aside of that, really, idol not so much. But I surround myself with good people, good friends, good family. And I think if you can do that, you're pretty much, that's what life's all about, really, isn't it? Yeah. You watch the reality of life is that most people generally are right. I've done a lot of traveling in time. And people generally are good people, and you just got to remember that, really. So idols not so much, but surround yourself by the right kind of people, and you won't go far wrong, I think.
Yeah, cracking. Thanks for that, bud. And so talk us about where it all started from. How did it? Where did Shaun go to school? How did it? Cardiff boy, born and bred.
Yeah, born and bred Cardiff. Lived initially in Royal Lamrumney, and then we kind of moved down to Roath then when I was, I don't know, I can't remember how old I was then, probably 7 or so, I don't know, perhaps my mother might say I was younger, I can't remember. Yeah. Went to Martin Junior School, had a brilliant time growing up in the parks and on my BMX and things. It was good, it was a great upbringing, brilliant times. And then from there I went to Howardian, but that was going to be closed because of the housing development that went there. Yeah. So moved to St. Ilo's in Form 2. And flourished. It was just great. It was a small school. It was brilliant friends who I'm still very, very close with now. There's probably a group of 30, 40 of us who are still mates from school. Yeah. Played an awful lot of sport, like Welsh Schools rugby trials, and played for the county, and loved that. Loved sport. Any sport, just loved it. I think it's one of those kids with a bit too much energy, really.
Do you enjoy school?
I did. I loved it. My sister was the brains of the house. She was like a straight A kid, and she was reading 5 books by the time I read 1 comic. But yeah, I was one of those kids who just tried. I will never be the top of the class, but I get through it. But you just got to keep pushing, trying, haven't you? And it seemed to pay off. I did my A levels. I did my A levels and got a a scholarship then with AMEC, who were like a huge contractor, multinational, as a trainee quantity surveyor. So I'd work 4 days a week and go to university 1 day a week. So I did that for 5 years. But you know, times are different then. There was no internet, so you're doing a degree 1 day a week. I'll be getting up at like 5:30, walk into town, catch a train from town to Ponty, get a lift from Ponty to Llanelli, work all day, do the same in reverse, and then have to walk to town to the library.
You went all the way to Llanelli?
Yeah, my site was in Llanelli, so I'd be doing all this traveling as a young, you know, old 18-year-old or whatever, and then come back and then have to go to town to the library to research for my degree. No internet. The kids got it easy these days.
Yeah, mate. That's it.
So yeah, so I did that for 5 years. Yeah, so I ended up moving up to London. No, I didn't. From there, I did the Children's Hospital with a company called Lang O'Rourke.
Right.
I was the main surveyor on that.
Big firm.
Then moved from there to Bristol Airport. I was a surveyor on that. Moved to London, built hotels in Trafalgar Square and Waterloo Station re-roofing projects. So major schemes.
Yeah, big ones.
And then moved to a smaller company on Cardiff Gate, where we were made redundant in 2011. I was there for about 10 years and really grew the business. But, you know, the boss didn't run it very, very well.
Yeah.
And things went wrong for various reasons. And we got made redundant, myself and my business partner now, Dave. So I'm a quantity surveyor. He's an engineer. And we thought, we got nowhere else to go. Let's give it a bash. So we tried to set up Trojan.
Yeah.
And we were so rubbish, we couldn't even register the company name on Company's House. We were that bad. I refused 3 times.
Yeah.
9 years on, you know, the two of us, we had no money, we had no funding. We tried to get funding, no one would give it to us because it was a recession.
Yeah.
So David remortgaged his house, so we chucked a bit of money in. I had very little, perhaps 5-10 grand, chucked that in. And managed to get a meeting with KFC's head of construction and said, will you give us a go? And they said, we can't. We knew 3 years trading history and you've got 3 weeks.
Yeah.
How are you going to do this? So
yeah.
He said, I know you can do it because we have built them in the past. But he said, listen, I'm going to have to speak to my boss. So his boss is a chap called Everett Fieldgate. And by chance, myself and Dave had met him in a meeting in a function up in London about 4 years prior. So we had a few beers with him at the bar, and it turns out he's the CEO of KFC, Pizza Hut for the whole of Asia and Europe. So this guy says, I remember those 2 idiots. Yeah, I'll give them a go, he said. So now we got an opportunity to build the first one, which was the KFC MacArthur Glen.
Yeah.
So we had very little money, so we had to basically go around lots of subcontractors and say, will you give us 30 days credit? And they're like, who are you? So just of our nature, they said, listen, the guy, a perfect example is a company called Dolcast up in Pyle.
Yeah.
And we just sat down with this chap, Gareth, and his son, Matthew. And he said, I like you boys, don't let me down. And I said, listen, if you give us this 30 days credit, it's only 40 grand to them.
Yeah.
He says, if you give us credit for this job, we guarantee you everyone going forward. And they've done everyone for us since.
Awesome.
So it's relationships. Yeah, so that's really how we got to where we are. It's been a mad journey. You know, the first year, when we tried to borrow money, they said, I think Bank of Wales or Finance Wales, we wanted 50 grand. And they said, no chance.
Right.
He said, your business plan is too ambitious. They said, we want to build 2 KFCs, so probably, I don't know, 600-700 grand's worth of work. I said, no way. We ended up, I think, doing 1.8 million in the first year.
Wow.
From zero money.
Yeah.
Second year, I think, second year was about 3.4. Then he went to something like, 2 years later, like 7 million. Then we went to like 10 odd million in 2018. I was mad. So since January 2012, we turned over 50 million pounds worth of work from nothing.
Mate, that's
it. Yeah, it's quite a nice story, really. You know, how you can make something, put your head together, you know, and good people, a great friendship with Dave, which is massive.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be in business with someone you don't trust implicitly.
No.
Plus have a laugh with.
Yeah.
You know, that's big.
Well, you always come across to me like someone who just takes life with a smile on his face, you know, because every time I see you, mate.
Yeah, I think you've got to. I've had a few huge life lessons in You know, my dad died when he was 47, which is my age now. All of a sudden, I had skin cancer 11 years ago. I was under observation then for 5-6 years. When I was 40, then I cut my elbow in Center Parcs and contracted like an invasive strep A infection. And I nearly died within a week. Had 2 operations. I was in intensive care.
Wow.
So you kind of look at life. You've always got to look at life with a smile, you know.
Yeah.
But I think more so those are huge life-changing events which makes you do it. Make sure you do focus on that. You know.
Yeah, makes you a stronger person.
Well
do you think that sort of adds into your business
life?
I think, you know.
I think I've always been the same person. The same person as a kid, and also my friend probably vouch for that. I don't think it's changed anything. I think you value things more, certainly. Appreciate things, and you know, if you then your missus head in and you know she's not speaking to you, he's like, come on, life's too short for this.
Let's sort this out.
Simple, is it? It's never that simple, but
no. But so the ups and downs then. So talk us about, obviously there's been an up and down. It's not a straight line getting to where you are now, and I know, you know, you're moving on and moving up. But what is that, you know, the ups and downs for the listeners? What you know, there's obviously more downs than ups.
I think you could look at lots of things that come your way in a day and think it's a down, but it's just got to break everything down to really what it is. And what, for me, it's certainly a case of that. I think being a surveyor, I think, is voted in one of the top 3 stressful jobs in the world. Yeah. And it is, if you let it get to you, you've really got to just break everything down. And when you run the business, the pressure's tenfold, because it's something I never thought of. You're dealing with other people's livelihoods as well as your own, which I never thought about when I thought about setting up business. There's so many factors in dealing with people, and you know, you can do your job, but managing people is a whole new process. In fact,
how did you adapt to that then? Because obviously going from where you were to where you are, first year must have been quite a massive learning curve for you on that.
Huge. Well, you've got, you know, I had mortgages to pay, I had a family to feed. There's no money coming in. So we set up a business. We had no jobs to build because nobody knew us. It's all well and good, isn't it? So then we employed the boys who were in the last business who also lost their jobs. So all of a sudden we got a team. We need to find some work. We had to train them up because you can't just build without the adequate training. So we're spending tens of thousands of pounds on training the team we had. Before we even had a job to build. So I don't know, I don't know why I went off on that tangent then, but it's a
bit chicken and the egg, isn't it? I mean,
that's the keep building and pushing on and just having a confidence in yourself, really, I think.
Yeah, so when you started up sort of 9 years ago, what was that feeling of backs against the wall? A lot of people at the moment then are in that position where, you know, backs against the wall with this COVID, you know, what you backed yourself, what was that feeling?
It's pretty blank feeling from what I can remember. You're kind of on autopilot. I remember I walked into the house and I spoke to Kate, and I was so stressed, like, you know, you just so much worry. And she said, listen, stop, don't worry about anything. She said, you know, me and you live in a cardboard box and we'd have a laugh. If we lose everything, it doesn't matter. So I don't want to see you like this. And I was like, oh, do you really mean that? She said, of course I do. And you know, when you got your back of, you know, your best mates, and like nothing can go wrong really. So I said, you know what, I'll sort this out, don't worry. And I was just so determined after that moment just to go, right, I'm going to make it work. So we eventually settled small jobs. A friend of mine, David Stagg, managed to get us a job refurbishing a bridge up in Monmouth way. He was a civil engineer, working for a civil engineering firm.
Right.
We never worked on bridges before. We didn't. We kind of made it work, you know. We just got the right people in place. It was a job, our first job. And he reminded me, we have to keep taking him out every Christmas now as a thank you for that, because he got us off our feet. But fair play, it's little things like that, you know. One case of saying, here's a job and we can't do it. Yeah, we'll do that. And it's that kind of attitude. So after that, you know, I was confident in my ability in what I could do as my career, my job, my profession. Yeah. And leave the other side and the rest of the team. But running a business is a completely new entity, and a friend of mine put me in touch with a course that Swansea University and Bala University put together, and it was almost like a master's. It was like an express master's in business.
Right.
You did it 2 or 3 days a month, I think it was, from memory. And you go in and you get taught by these leads, and like, you know, women who climbed Everest, and they tell you of all, you know, all the experiences. And the first thing they said on the first week was, how do you want to get out of your business? And I said, well, we just started it up. But it does make you think, and it's things, you know, if you're in a partnership, have you spoken to your business partner where he wants to drive the business? Because, you know, you could be best mates, but he could be one way and you could be going the other way.
Yeah.
It's tying all of these things in and just, you know, getting business agreements. And so everything is completely above board level. One can't do one without the other. However close you are, you're just making sure everything is really tight. And you talk to each other, and it's learning all processes like that, you know, how you try and franchise your business. Like, you know, the McDonald's ad example is there's so many lessons learned from that course, which you knew, but you kind of put into process within your business then, and talking to your team, you know, doing what do you think is working here, what's not working here, all these things, because you can get too wrapped up in running the business that the business is going in a way, and you're just a passenger on that ship, if you like. You've got to be steering the ship, and it's a case of you've got to try and build the business, is what I learned, in that you're not an employee of your business. So basically, I could step out and go on holiday for 2 months, and the business would still run. Because if I can't do that, I don't have a business. I'm just an employee of the business I'm in.
So when did it get to that point? Because obviously when you started the business, it was not that way. You couldn't have 2 months on at that point. But as time's gone on, you've put processes in place to get that to that point. And is there a certain point at which you on your journey that you got to that point of saying, well, actually, I am in that place now?
Yeah, I think we had a lot of the processes in place from day one. We knew what we were doing. We knew the construction process. There was a, you know, I'm lucky in so much as my job can all be done on a laptop anyway. I can be the other side of the world. The fact is that, you know, I don't think Dave would be too happy if I spent most of my time in Thailand while he was driving at M4. So I'm the commercial side, so I look after all the contracts, all of the, you know, the legal side, the commercial side, the pricing, the money side. So I'm like economist of construction, if you like. Yeah. So I do all that side. He does all the technical build side of the business, leads that side of it, and then gradually, as the business grows and you can afford to take on different tiers of management, that's what we did. And you know, I never take a holiday at the same time as Dave, so there's always one of us, and we're always in contact if we need be. We're big on, you know, we shouldn't have to work till 10 o'clock at night. You know, with your hours, you know, family time's your family time, your weekends are yours. You know, that's very important. You know, you don't, you know, your home life is the most important thing. What's that?
Let's say someone sat there now and they're looking to get out on their own. What would be your advice to that person?
There's so much. There's just so much. But I think it all just boils down to that. If you've got, we felt we had to make it work. You know, I was at that point. We could have done it previously, but we weren't pushed. And I think that being stuck against the wall, and Kate was actually looking at jobs for me out in Africa. There's no jobs in the UK because of the recession. And so I said, Kate, I can't work in Africa. I've just had skin cancer. Can you imagine being in the sun? So I thought, I really have got to make this business work.
Yeah, we got to stay in Wales with the rain, though.
Yeah, you can imagine it being in Africa with an umbrella, you know, and we'll come on site. So, but yeah, you know, it's have confidence in yourself. You know, you will. We got hit by an awful lot of money by in 2018 we had an awful year. We did 11 million pounds worth of work, but Brexit had hit and the like. So what happened is the work we planned for the year got condensed down into 6 months. So we did 11 million pounds worth of work in 6 months, right? That's more than we've ever done before. We have one of our major team members got diagnosed with leukemia, and then we having to take on different managers and different labour who we didn't know. trying to not to let these clients down and make sure we delivered on the projects which we said we would, and we did it.
Yeah.
At the end of that year, then 2 clients, big, huge clients who own kind of half of Liverpool and Manchester. Wow. They hit us for like £400,000, like massive, big hit.
Massive hit.
And then all of a sudden you're like, geez. So we come in the following January and we go around your accounts and it's like, oh my God, we just had the rug pulled from underneath us.
Yeah.
And that to me was, getting out of that was our biggest achievement, more so than building it from nothing the first time. Because the first time we were clueless and we were just going through it. The second time we built it up and you felt like you almost failed, even though it wasn't really our doing. And
but it's a lesson learned, mate, isn't it? I think that I've spoken to a lot of people on these podcasts that a lot of people say, yeah, you learn by your mistakes, you learn by your failures, you learn by your hits. Yeah. But it's the come back and not let it happen again is the thing, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and it is. You have got to be cute, and like we nowadays we try and agree better payment terms. We're in a brilliant position now, in so much we've got such a name, the brand Trojan, building all these drive-throughs and projects all across the country. People are chasing us now, and we're having to turn work down. Yeah. If we looked at our projects order book, we'd probably do 10 easy this year, but then I've got on a list of projects up to £54 million worth of work we're talking to people on.
Wow.
It's like, we can't do all that.
Yeah, it's amazing, mate. It's amazing.
But like I said earlier, the big thing is I'm not particularly rushing, don't want a Ferrari. I'm quite happy with my old camper van. Yeah, I like my holidays. I like getting down West Wales, but I'm not going to chase the money. I never have done that. We work to all have a good life and a secure life, I guess. And
so
we have.
You say not chasing the money now. Then what is it? What's the motivation now for yourself? You said about the team around you, and what is the motivation? What is the biggest?
I've never chased money. Money's right at the bottom of my list all my life. My mum worked in a construction company doing accounts. My dad was a steel worker. We never flush.
Yeah.
We had a great life. We had a holiday once a year, and love and support is all you really need. And I'm totally blessed from that. And I think that's been my foundation throughout all of my life.
What about your work ethic then, mate? Because you work hard. Whatever happens, no one can say within this 9 years it's graft, isn't it? That's what it is.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that from? Where's that been instilled from?
Oh, my mum and dad, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, they real workers. My mother doesn't stop now. She's just bloody doing 5-hour yoga classes, and we're looking at my sister's kids, and she's an unbelievable woman. And so they always have been. My dad be doing shift after shift on Allied Steel, and they are hardworking people. And you don't want to go to bed thinking, I give 60% today. No one does. No one's happy with that.
No, that's it. And your routine wise, because every time I've ever met you, it's been 6 o'clock down the gym. You're an early bird.
Yeah, massively. I usually wake up about 5.
Yeah.
I'm usually going to sleep at 9ish, mine. So Kate's not very happy when she to watch a film.
No one sees the 9 o'clock going to bed, do
they? Training exercise is a huge part of my life. Always trained.
Yeah.
So in fact, now I'm training a load of boys, a load of my mates who put on a bit of weight, I guess you could say. So I do a mini boot camp.
COVID timber, is it?
Yeah, that's it. And obviously people struggle through all of this, and so I've got a rowing machine and weights, and we take them out in the street, and we go on. Got the Waterloo Hill and do runs, and so a little mini boot camp 4 nights a week. So that's something we'll never got.
Again, there's one thing you're really good at. I mean, I know I served you quite a few times in 29, didn't I? But with your boys, it's your mates from school. I think that's a really nice trait. I'm lucky enough to have that as well. Through, I think it's important to ground you as well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely. I work hard. I do a lot of exercise, and I like a good party. There's a nice balance.
Where does Shaun go? Where's Trojan going then? What's the future for Trojan?
Oh, at the moment, we're on a rocket ship. You've got to be shrewd, haven't you? There's all well and good saying, I'm going to do £54 million worth of work, but I'll be in an early grave. It's not going to happen. You need to. That year we did £10 million worth of work in 6 months. It wasn't a nice year. The year we dropped it back to 6 million the year later, and I was a much happier person. Margins were better. you've got to be clever in what you're doing. Pick the right clients. There's some clients, they call them pound clients and £1,000 clients.
Right.
Why waste your time with someone who's only investing £1 in you when you've got these great clients over there? It's really think about where you want to take your business and your life outside of business.
Yeah. So over those 9 years or before, longer than that, you've obviously sound like you've had to cut out people in your life and add people to it. You know, you talk about positivity. How positive, obviously surrounding yourself with positivity, how important is that to you?
Well, massive, yes, huge. But that's not to say I don't. Throughout lockdown, I must have walked probably 4 or 5 days a week with mates who were struggling with lockdown just to keep them up. You know, I've been lucky. I am lucky. I am positive, but I do have a positive outlook, and I do buzz off people who have the same outlook. But I also understand that we're not all like that, and there's the circle of friends I have and people I mix with. I've never cut any of them out. I'm still speak to them often, go for walks often, or groups. The WhatsApp. You've been talking to 20 your mates in one go, can't you? It's great. Yeah, no, it's that's it. It is brilliant. But no, certainly not dropped off at all. It's been good.
Yeah, good, mate. So we're gonna wrap it up with 3 main questions then, and. So to enter into Shaun's world, what are the 3 non-negotiables for Shaun?
Treat people how you want to be treated. You know, that's I think the main crux throughout all of my life. Really, it's nice to be nice, as they say.
Yeah.
So that's the big one. Do exercise.
Yeah.
Exercise solves a million problems, I tell you. And I guess the last one is don't drive fast. Use the time. Slow down. You know, it's all very easy to be bombing along in a fast lane, missing what's going on. And I mean that as well as don't drive fast. Because I drive like an old lady. So, you know, my business partner won't come in a car with me. He says, it's like driving Miss Daisy, he says, with me. I've got my armrests down. You know, leave a bit earlier, have a little think along the way. Chill out.
Yeah, I know you said about going to West Wales. I mean, that's your place you go and get your mind back. Is it get some rest and some
Myself and Kate, we took a big chance probably 12 years ago now and bought a little bungalow in West Wales.
Awesome.
So it was amazing. The kids grew up there, and you know, it's just the most amazing place ever. And we spent an awful lot of time there. You go 2 days down there, it's like 3 weeks abroad. It's just beautiful. Yeah, I really missed it. I can't wait till this lockdown to lift. And I'll be straight down in the sea, up the mountains. You know?
Absolutely, mate. I can't wait to get a pen and van and get down West Wales myself. I just
can't. That's it. Yeah.
So, next question then. What the biggest life lesson you've had up until now? What's the biggest life lesson?
I think it's how valuable it is. I think having gone through what I did with my health scares and losing my dad at this young age, you're here for a good time, not a long time, I always say. And that's the big thing, you know. Don't try not to stress about things, because it's not that bad. Just break it down and chip away at it.
Yeah,
things
great.
will be all right.
Last little question then. So a young Shaun Welsh, go back to him when he's 17, 18. What sort of advice would you give him?
I think I just enjoy yourself, kid. Don't stress. Give 100% and have a laugh. Enjoy yourself. Be nice.
Question then: would you change anything you've done since then?
No.
Do it all?
Nothing at all. I loved it. I loved my journey so far. It's different. Like I say, the lows have been pretty low, but the highs far outweigh the highs, and it's what you put into it. I've loved my life, and I've really enjoyed it. It's tough, you know. It's not been tough, other than not losing my dad and the health things, but life's good. Life's good.
It's good, mate. I thoroughly enjoyed your journey, mate. I think I'm very lucky that I've lived in Penlan, you know, or around Penlan all my life, for 20 odd years, and I've seen you grow. And it's just amazing to see. Like I said, I always see you with a smile. I always see your family with a smile. I think it's amazing how you do things. I wish you all the luck with Trojan and yourself, mate, going forward. Yeah,
thank you for your support as well. You're always giving me the thumbs up and the cheers and things, the booms on LinkedIn and stuff, and it's brilliant.
But if someone wants to reach out to Shaun or get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Yeah, sure. You know, you can contact me through my emails or through the office or whatever. I'm more than happy to help. I've given lots of people advice through the way. You know, I always often laugh at that, like a bloody idiot like me giving people advice. Like Kate's like, what? But behind every great man is a woman raising their eyebrows, they say, isn't it?
Absolutely, mate. You're absolutely right with that. I got one downstairs now, but I won't say anything louder than that.
Yeah.
Look, honestly, mate, thank you ever so much for your time. Good luck with the future, and I'll see you in the gym soon.
So it'd be lovely to see you, mate. All right, take care.
On, mate.
Nice one, John.
Ta-ra, bud. So there we go. You know, he's been through all sorts. And what I love about his story is that he got thrown into it. He felt that he had to get into business because he had no other option. You know, that bit when he was, you know, just about to go to Africa, because that was the only work about. So he was in a corner, and it's a funny situation. Not everyone's been in that position throughout my interviews. But it's really just fascinating how he's pulled out of that. And now he's got nearly, you know, he said 54 million on the books next year. And that's what I got from that is if you deliver everything you say you're going to deliver, then you get the work. If you work hard like he's done, he grafts hard, right? Every time I see him, he's there, he's here, he's everywhere. People don't see those hard times. They see all the riches at the end. And that's the bit that I really get from Shaun. I 100%, like I said at the beginning, respect him, love doing it. It was a shame. I was just about to record it again because I didn't think the recording did it justice, but I listened to it again and thought, well, actually the raw material is there. And like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really hope you did. He's again, honest. And the resounding commonality, yeah, if there's such a word as commonality, I'm going to make it up, is that people are authentic. Shaun is what he is. He still hangs around with his mates, does fitness with his boys, you know, and that is for me such a humble experience and such a humble story. Brilliant. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel. Give me some feedback. Post some feedback in, you know, direct message, whatever you want to do. But anyway, have a great one. Crack on. Crack on.